In the opening scene of Mirzapur Season 3, Bart visits a brothel and pays to sleep with two prostitutes, escorting the women into a separate room. There, he uses his belt to beat up the other girl while forcing the girl with short hair to watch. The episode opens with Shabnam speaking with Pyarelal Joshi, who informs her that since Lala isn't managing his business, his drug trafficking network would be handed to someone else. Pyarelal tries to intimidate Shabnam by telling her to speak with Lala, who is incarcerated. Ramakant cross-examines SSP Maurya's wife, Mrs. Maurya, in court. The fact that the Mauryas had oftentimes invited Ramakant over for tea shows that he posed no threat to SSP Maurya's life. IG Dubey is introduced by Punjabi, the prosecution, as the main witness in the case. Ramakant consents to let Dubey give a statement in court. However, Lala informs Shabnam that he had teamed up with Sharad when they meet in jail. Shabnam assures his father that Guddu is more reliable than Sharad and that she is capable of managing the company while he is away. Lala gives in and lets Shabnam take over the company. Shabnam meets Guddu in the Tripathi residence. Once more in court, IG Dubey, when under oath, lies in court. He said that in order to keep Guddu from getting arrested, Ramakant used to blackmail SSP Maurya. In order to preserve his son, Ramakant killed SSP Maurya, according to Dubey. Ramakant declines to quiz Dubey on anything. He assures the judge that he will battle for his release and that he will have faith in the legal system to render an accurate ruling. Upon noticing Dimpy's expression, the judge declares that a verdict will be made public during the subsequent hearing. When Robin questions if it's worth it to battle for her family, Dimpy stands by her side. Robin begs Dimpy to return to her hostel and gather her belongings in an attempt to persuade her not to quit up at this point. In the meantime, Bart is gazing at a picture of Golu on his phone while seated in a pub. Robin arrives and informs Bart that he is closing his company. He says he's going to settle down and refunds the money Bart had invested. Bart shares with Robin the similarities between the life of a crab and the sensation of being in love. While at the Pundit residence, Dimpy gives Golu a call to discuss. When Golu sees Sweetie and Guddu's wedding pictures, she becomes distraught. Golu is told by Dimpy to focus on her future and self rather than just following Guddu around. Guddu needs Dimpy's assistance, Golu informs her. On her way out, she runs into Robin and asks him to hold onto the money she invested until she asks him to give it back. Returning to the Tripathi residence, Guddu declines to finalize the agreement with Shabnam because he does not wish to jeopardize her safety once more. In the event that Guddu's side declines, Shabnam says she is prepared to accept Sharad's offer. Golu steps in and requests that Guddu give her control over the transaction. Golu signs a deal with Shabnam after accepting the offer. Guddu requests to be kept out of the mess, and Golu consents to travel to Nepal to see the customer. Beena and Shabnam inform Golu that it would be appropriate for him to travel to Nepal in order to meet with the client, since Guddu is set to take the throne of Mirzapur. Unwillingly, Golu accepts and remains behind. That evening, Guddu makes a transaction after tricking Mr. Beg, the client who is selling the drugs. He tells Golu over the phone that he is spending the night in Nepal and will be going home the next day. Golu receives a call that evening from her informant about seeing Kaileen. She tells the informant to keep an eye out while she phones Guddu and has a conversation with him. It transpires that Bart/Shot had bought the informant's deception to deceive Golu. Before attacking Kaileen, Golu tries to call Guddu, but Gud does not pick up. Shabnam accepts Guddu's invitation to his room, and they share dinner together. As Guddu ignores Golu's summons, the two share a kiss. As the episode comes to a close, Golu informs her source that she is en route to murder Kaileen. The review of the episode. Now that we can see Kaileen is still healing and isn't even close to taking over the company, everything is going completely crazy. Many viewers of the earlier seasons, I'm sure, would concur that Mirzapur isn't as enjoyable now that Manabaya isn't on the show. Despite the fact that this season is a major letdown, Golus seems like a strong candidate to succeed her given her tenacity. There's a lot on the line, though, and I hope Golus survives this attack by shot/Bard while Kekadaa is away. I question Robin's mother's identity and whether or not she is still living. It is difficult to tell if he is a decent man because he comes across as such a crazy neutral on the show.